Very good morning and Jai Hind children. Welcome back to your biology class. Children, this week we have not done any chapter of chemistry because we have completed all the syllabus of chemistry, and in the next week we are going to revise all the chapters of chemistry starting from the first chapter of chemistry, that is fiber to fabric, and then we will continue with the further chapters. Alright. And similarly, from the next week we are going to start the revision of biology also, starting from the first chapter. Alright. So children, yesterday we were doing the exercise of this chapter, that is living organism and their surrounding. We have done almost half of it. We have done short answer question, we have done very short answer question and choose the most appropriate answer, and oral question answers. Few of the long question answers and HOTS questions were left. So let's quickly go through all that question, and then we'll quickly revise this chapter again. What are the important things in this chapter? We'll go through that. Alright. So please be ready with your fair notebook and your science book. So we are going to start in a while. I hope everybody is ready. Okay, so in the last class, that was yesterday, we were discussing this oral question answer, this long answer question. So we have discussed basically this question number 3. So again I am starting from question number 3. So the previous all the questions we have already done. We have done question number 2, question number 1 of long answer question. So now we will start from question number 3. What is difference between biotic and abiotic components of the environment? Explain with examples. Children, we know that what is environment first? Environment is the surrounding, which includes biotic and abiotic components, and it shows their interrelationship between themselves. So that is called environment. Alright. Environment consists of two components. First is biotic and second is abiotic. Biotic component includes all the living things. All the living things, plant, animal, microorganisms are included in biotic component. Alright. Abiotic component are those components which are essential for biotic component and are non-living in nature, like air, water, temperature, sunlight. All these things are non-living and are essential part of environment. So they are called abiotic. So how can you learn it, children? Biotic में term आ रहा है bio. क्या term आ रहा है? Bio. ठीक. तो bio जहाँ पे भी आता है उससे हम समझते हैं कि we are talking about लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. बायो मतलब हम किसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे? प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. सो बायोटिक, सिमिलरली वी हैव अ सब्जेक्ट कॉल्ड बायोलॉजी. सो बायोलॉजी इज अ सब्जेक्ट दैट डील्स विद लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. ऑलराइट. सिमिलरली दिस बायोटिक, बायो मीन्स लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. ऑलराइट. सो वी विल टॉक अबाउट लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. बायो के आगे ए लग गया, लेकिन अ लग गया, तो इट विल बी abiotic, मतलब biotic नहीं. So that this is a one trick to learn this. So biotic means living organism, abiotic means non-living organisms. So explain with example. Let's see. So biotic components. The living or biotic components includes all living organisms. They include all the living organisms. The living or biotic organism of an environment can be divided into 3 groups. It can be divided into 3 groups. What are the 3 groups? Producers, consumers and decomposers. So these are the 3 groups. Biotic को भी हम 3 पार्ट में डिवाइड करते हैं. We have producers, consumers and decomposers. So what are producers? Producers are those organisms which can prepare their food on their own by the process of photosynthesis. They are called producers. So the organism, those who are not dependent upon any other for their food, are called producers. Example we have is green plants. So green plants are producers. Consumers are those organisms who depend on producers for their food. Alright, consumers can again be further classified as herbivores, carnivores, omnivores. Yes, so they can again be classified. Then we have decomposers. Decomposers are, children, basically small microbes like bacteria and fungi, which can break down the living organism, which can break down the dead bodies of the living organism into a smaller part, and they take the nutrient from them, alright, and help them to submerge or mix in the soil. They are called decomposers, alright, depending on how they obtain their food. So the pattern of obtaining the food is different in all these three cases. Then coming on to abiotic component. What is abiotic component? The non-living or abiotic components include air, water, soil, sunlight, temperature, etc. So all these things are included in abiotic component, which are present in the environment and are essential for biotic organisms. Alright, so these constitute the abiotic or physical environment. These factors affect the living organism found in the area. Okay, so this is the difference between biotic and abiotic component. Then we have next question. Question number 4. What is adaptation? What is its importance? Explain with the help of 2 examples. Let's see. So what is adaptation, children? So adaptation is a feature that helps an organism to survive in a particular type of an environment. So this is called adaptation. मतलब कि आपको कोई एक पर्टिकुलर एनवायरनमेंट में सरवाइव करने को दिया जा रहा है और आपका फीचर वैसा है, लाइक टेक फॉर एग्जांपल पोलर बियर. सो द बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ अ पोलर बियर इज लाइक दे कैन सर्वाइव इन अ कोल्ड क्लाइमेट, लाइक दे हैव अ फर लाइक बॉडी. उनके बहुत सारा फैट एक्यूमुलेट होता है बॉडी में, सो दे कैन रेजिस्ट द विंटर. Alright, similarly if we talk about camel, so camel is having that type of adaptation to a desert area कि उनके hump होता है where they can store the fat and they have a capacity to store the water inside them. They do not require water every time to drink and they urinate very less, they do not sweat. So all these body pattern and all these feature of this camel is helping the camel to survive in a desert. And similarly goes with the polar bear, similarly goes with the dormouse and everything. Alright, so this is called adaptation. Alright children, adaptation leads to evolution. Okay. For example, the gills of a fish are an adaptation that helps it to survive in water. So because fishes are having gills, that is why they can survive in water. अगर उनके पास gills नहीं होता तो वो पानी में survive नहीं कर पाती. And we have exception also. We have 2 types of aquatic animal. Those are not having gills. Like we have dolphins and whale. They don't have gills. They have blowholes. They come up, they breathe and they go inside. Alright. So this is the adaptation. Okay. Again, a camel has several adaptations to help it. So we have talked about camel. We have talked about fishes. Okay. So camel has several adaptations to help it survive in a desert, such as a hump. So he has a hump to store fat. He has a long legs so that the heat of sand does not reaches its body. Its feet have a large sole. So because they are having a large sole, they can walk on a desert very easily. Alright. So those who are not having a large sole cannot walk on a desert very easily. Even we cannot walk on a desert very easily. But camel can. Alright. So that is his adaptation. I hope this is clear to everyone that what is adaptation. So now moving ahead with question number 5. Give an example of an animal that uses camouflage to escape from enemies and another that uses camouflage to catch its prey. Explain how the camouflage helps each of them. Yes. So I am again repeating the question, children. Give an example of an animal. You have to give an example of an animal that uses camouflage. This is one of the property. So can use camouflage to escape from enemies. जो enemies से बचने के लिए अपने आप को camouflage की property को use करता है. And we have to tell the name of one more animal which uses the camouflage to catch the prey. Okay, so are you getting any name in the mind? I hope yes. So let's see the answer. Stick insect. This stick insect uses camouflage to escape from enemies. Stick insect uses camouflage to escape from enemies. So children, I can show you in the picture. So you can open your book and you can see here. So what is camouflage, children? Camouflage is a property where the animals hide behind the surrounding and we cannot differentiate between the surrounding and the animal. So that is called camouflage. So children, here this stick animal is stick insect can camouflage with the branch of the trees or leaves. Alright. तो इस वजह से हम इसको डिटेक्ट नहीं कर पाते and it helps them to prevent themselves from escape themselves from enemies. Okay. Now next. So stick insect escapes from the enemy, uses camouflage. The tiger uses camouflage to catch its prey. Okay. So we have a stick insect that uses camouflage to escape from enemy. We have tiger which uses camouflage to catch its prey. What is the prey of tiger? It can be anything. It can be deer, it can be goat or anything. Okay. A stick insect resembles very much to the stick and enemies cannot recognize it. Orange coat of tiger with stripes matches its surrounding. So जो भी orange coat होता है tiger में, it can match with the surrounding and the tiger can move slowly to the prey and can catch it. Alright. So we have two examples. First is stick insect. Stick insect क्या करता है? अपने आप को दुश्मनों से बचाता है. ठीक है? कैसे बचाता है? वो जाके स्टिक पे जो ब्रांचेस होती है उस पे जाके स्टिक कर जाएगा, उस पे जाके चिपक जाएगा, तो वो एकदम उसी की तरह दिखता है. तो हम डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पाएंगे कि ये कोई स्टिक है कि स्टिक इंसेक्ट है. ठीक. सो इससे वो क्या करता है? अपने आप को एनिमी से बचाता है. Then we have second example, that is tiger. So tiger, we know that they are having an orange coat and they have a stripe all over their body. Yes. तो अगर वो किसी ब्रांच के पीछे या कहीं छिप जाते हैं तो वो सराउंडिंग से मिल जाते हैं. ऐसा लगता है कि वो कोई स्ट्राइप है. और फिर वो धीरे 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 प्रे के पास जाएंगे एंड ही कैचेस इट. ऑलराइट, सो these are the two examples where camouflage property is used. Next we have question number 6. List 3 adaptations each that the following have to survive in the environment they live in. Again repeating the question. List 3 adaptations each that the following have to survive in the environment they live in. तो इनके ऐसी कौन सी प्रॉपर्टीज होती है, ऐसा कौन सा एडेप्टेशन होता है जो इनको इनके एनवायरनमेंट में सर्वाइव करने में हेल्प करता है. सो वी हैव टू राइट दैट एडेप्टेशंस. सो वी हैव टू राइट अबाउट कैमल, वाटर लिली एंड फिश. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद इट. सो फर्स्ट इज कैमल. सो वी नो दैट कैमल हैज अ hump. They have a hump and they store food, and by storing food what happens, they can eat, they can take the energy from that fat anytime when they have a shortage or a scarcity of food. ठीक है, जब भी खाने की कमी होती है, कुछ भी हो, तो जो कैमल के हम्प है वहां पे जो फैट स्टोर है वहां से वो एनर्जी ले सकता है. ऑलराइट, सो दिस इज वन एडेप्टेशन ऑफ कैमल. देन वी हैव सेकेंड एडेप्टेशन. इट कैन ड्रिंक अ वेरी लार्ज क्वांटिटी ऑफ वाटर एट अ टाइम. एक बार में ये खूब सारा पानी पी सकता है और पानी लूज भी बहुत कम करता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ, but it loses very little water in the form of urine, dung and sweat. पसीने में, यूरिन करते टाइम और डंग के टाइम ये बहुत कम स्वेट रिलीज करता है. तो पानी ज्यादा स्टोर किया, पानी ज्यादा पिया और स्वेट कम रिलीज किया, तो क्या हुआ, बॉडी में पानी स्टोर्ड रहा. ऑलराइट, so this is one adaptation. Next we have, it has long legs that keeps its body away from heat of the sand. उनके लंबे लंबे पैर होते हैं ताकि उनकी बॉडी थोड़ी सी ऊपर रहे सैंड से और वो उसकी हीट को फील ना कर पाए, जो सैंड की हीट है वो उनको ना लगे. So this is the property or adaptation of camel. Okay, then we have next, that is water lily. What are the properties or adaptation of water lily? The stems are long and narrow to withstand water current without getting damaged. The stems are long and narrow. उनकी stems क्या होती हैं, बहुत लॉन्ग और बहुत पतली पतली होती हैं. तो जब भी वाटर का प्रेशर आता है, जब भी वाटर फ्लो होता है, तो वो टूटते नहीं है. ऑलराइट, सो फ्लोटिंग लीव्स आर लार्ज एंड फ्लैट. वी नो दैट दे हैव अ फ्लोट, जैसे लोटस में होता है लोटस की लीव्स, सो दे ऑल्सो हैव अ लार्ज एंड फ्लैट लीव्स. ऑलराइट, दे हैव अ वैक्सी अपर सरफेस टू मेक इट waterproof. The roots are much reduced in size. Roots सिर्फ उनको बाइंड करने के लिए होते हैं, थोड़ा सा वाटर में थोड़ा सा रेजिस्टेंस का क्रिएट हो, इस वजह से रूट होते हैं. रेस्ट देयर इज नो यूज ऑफ रूट बिकॉज दे हैव प्लेंटी ऑफ वाटर. ओके, देन कमिंग ऑन टू फिश. Fish, they have streamlined bodies. So we know that, children, that fishes are having a streamlined body. I have already told you what is a streamlined body. So fishes are having a streamlined body. This helps them swim fast in water. तो ये क्या करता है, उनको पानी में फास्ट मूव करने में हेल्प करता है. Their body is covered with scales and mucus to make it waterproof. Alright, they have gills for breathing under water. तो वो पानी के अंदर ब्रीथ भी कर सकती हैं because they are having gills. Alright, So these are the few adaptation of these particular animals, okay, which is very important. Moving ahead with the last question of long answer question, that is 7th. Lions have eyes in front while deer have eyes on the side. How do these adaptation help the lion and the deer? So very easy, this we have talked earlier when I was explaining the chapter. So tiger की आंखें कहाँ होती हैं? Front में होती हैं. I can show it to you in the chapter. You can see. Alright. So we know that tiger are having eyes in front. So where is tiger? Okay, so you can also turn your pages and see where is tiger. So we have a figure of tiger also, we have a figure of lion also. Where it is? Fine, I think we don't have the figure. So if you find it, you can see it. You can see in the chapter. Okay, so lions are having eyes in front. Alright, whereas the deer are having eyes at the side. तो क्या होता है कि जब लॉयन के फ्रंट में आईज होती है तो इट कैन फोकस ऑन द प्रे. जो भी उनका प्रे है सामने वो डायरेक्ट फोकस कर सकते हैं, डायरेक्ट डिस्टेंस देख सकते हैं कि कितनी दूर पे है. ऑलराइट, सो दैट दे कैन कैच द प्रे वेरी इजीली. एंड बिकॉज डियर्स आर हैविंग आईज एट द साइड, दे कैन लुक अराउंड इन ऑल द डायरेक्शंस to see from where their predators are coming, from where the lion is coming, so that they can escape and run very fast. Alright, so lions have eyes in front of their faces. This helps to give them a correct idea of their prey. कि उनका prey कहाँ है इसका एकदम correct idea देते हैं because of the eyes they have in front. While the deer have eyes on the side. Deers के कहाँ होते हैं? साइड में होते हैं. This enables them to look in all the direction for danger. तो वो चारों तरफ देख सकते हैं कि कहाँ से उनका predator आके उनको खा जाएगा. So these were the long answer questions. So children, I hope you have understood each and every answer. So it will be easier for you to learn the questions. Alright, learn the question and answers. Alright. Now moving ahead with the HOTS question. So question number 1. Suppose a scientist came up with a medicine that could kill all bacteria and fungi and gave it to you to use. Would you use it or not? Why? Yes children. आपके पास कोई साइंटिस्ट आया और उसने आपको एक दवाई दी और उसने कहा कि ये दवाई खा के जितने भी बैक्टीरिया और फंजाई हैं वो सब मर जाएंगे. तो क्या आप उसको यूज करोगे कि नहीं यूज करोगे? Tell me. Definitely we will not use it because these bacteria and fungi are acting as a decomposer for us. Yes, these bacteria and fungi act as a decomposer and help in breaking down these dead bodies and waste material into smaller and smaller pieces and again mixing them in soil, and it again give the nutrient to the plants. Alright, so that is why we will not kill them. Alright, we will not kill bacteria and fungi. Say the scientist, I don't need your medicine. Okay, so the answer is no, because fungi together with bacteria are responsible for most of the recycling which returns dead material to the soil in a form in which it can be reused. So I have told you the same thing कि बैक्टीरिया और फंजाई क्या करते हैं, जो डेड ऑर्गेनिज्म है उनमें जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें होती हैं उन सबको सॉइल में मिक्स कर देते हैं और सॉइल में मिक्स करने के बाद वो यूज होता है एज अ manure, as a nutrient for plants. So without fungi and bacteria, these recycling activities would not take place. We would effectively be lost under piles many meter thick of dead plants and animals remains. अगर बैक्टीरिया फंजाई नहीं होंगे तो डिकम्पोजिशन नहीं होगा. डिकम्पोजिशन नहीं होगा तो हमारे पास कितने सारे पाइल्स हो जाएंगे डेड एनिमल्स और प्लांट्स के. इमेजिन सो मेनी डेड एनिमल्स, सो मेनी डेड प्लांट्स, सो कितने पाइल्स हो जाएंगे ना उसके. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू किल द बैक्टीरियाज एंड फंजाइज. हैव यू गॉट दिस आंसर? Now moving with question number 2. Do all aquatic animals breathe oxygen dissolved in water? Yes. Do all aquatic animals breathe oxygen dissolved in water? क्या जितने भी aquatic animal है वो जो पानी में ऑक्सीजन होता है उसी को इनहेल करते हैं? No. Why? Because we have two examples of one is dolphin, another is whale. They don't have gills. They cannot breathe the oxygen present in water. So they have to come up. They breathe the oxygen from the air. They come up, they breathe the oxygen from air, they again go down. Alright. Though they live in water, but to breathe the air, to take oxygen, they have to come up and again go down. So this is because of they are having blowholes. Okay. Sorry. So the answer is no, because dolphins and whales do not have gills to breathe under water. So dolphins and whales, they do not have gills to breathe under the water. So they have to come up to water surface to breathe. So got this answer? Now moving ahead with question number 3. Animals that hibernate eat a lot before hibernating. Why? So can you recall about dormouse? So dormouse, what he does? So during the summer season he eats so much that it gets stored in their body. और जैसे जैसे ठंडक आती है वैसे वैसे they become very lazy and they go to sleep. They go for hibernation. So let's see why they do that. So before entering hibernation, animals eat a large amount of food and store energy in fat deposits in order to survive the hibernation period. तो जब वो सोने जा रहे हैं उस टाइम पे तो वो कुछ भी नहीं खाएंगे क्योंकि वो पूरे विंटर सोते हैं और पूरे विंटर सोने के लिए उनको कुछ तो एनर्जी चाहिए. तो अच्छा, नाउ यू विल आस्क मी मैम वो तो सो रहे, उनको एनर्जी की क्या जरूरत? ऐसा नहीं होता है. जब सोते हैं तब भी हमें एनर्जी की जरूरत होती है, बिकॉज वी आर ब्रीदिंग एंड वी आर ब्रीदिंग विच रिक्वायर्स एनर्जी. ऑलराइट. सो this what they do before going to hibernation, they eat so much and they store the fat in their body in the form of energy and then they go for hibernation. और जब वो hibernation पे जाते हैं तो उसी को धीरे 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 वही energy utilize करते हैं. Okay, so that is why they do it. Question 4. In a habitat which are expected to be greater in number, herbivores or carnivores? Why? Yes, interesting question, children. So carnivores eat herbivores for their food. We know that carnivores are flesh eating animals, herbivores are plant eating animals. तो carnivore किसको खाएगा? herbivore को खाएगा. If there were more carnivores than herbivores in a habitat, then carnivore would eat all the herbivores. Yes, definitely. तो कार्निवोर अगर ज्यादा हो गए तो सारे हर्बीवोर मर जाएंगे, अगर हर्बीवोर ज्यादा हो गए तो सारे प्लांट्स मर जाएंगे. Isn't it? तो क्या होना चाहिए? So the balance of habitat would get disturbed. Therefore, in habitat, herbivores are expected to be greater in number. though it is also not good because this herbivore will eat all the plants. Okay, so but we have a large amount of plants, so herbivore can survive. So we have more herbivores than carnivores. Okay, last question. All organisms including bacteria and fungi feed on dead plants and animals. Then why are only bacteria and fungi known as decomposers? Very good question. So all organisms other than bacteria and fungi feed on dead plants and animals, but they cannot decompose them into nutrients which are required, which are returned to the soil. सिर्फ बैक्टीरिया और फंजाई उसको छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स में ब्रेक करके डिकम्पोज कर सकते हैं, बाकी और कोई भी ऑर्गेनिज्म उसको डिकम्पोज नहीं कर सकता. दैट इज व्हाई बैक्टीरिया एंड फंजाइज आर कॉल्ड decomposers. Got it? So we are done with this chapter. We have done all the question answers. We have revised, like I have discussed all the question answers with you. So children, please do complete your work in your fair notebook. Okay, so that's all for today. Children, please start studying. This is a very important time. Please start studying, else you will not get the time. Okay, so that's all for today, children. Thank you and Jai Hind, children. From next week, whenever we are meeting for the bio class next Thursday, so we are going to revise the chapter, the previous chapter, the first chapter. I think the first chapter was, let me see, so whichever is the first chapter of biology that we are going to revise. I think it is sources of food. So first we are going to revise sources of food, and then we'll revise components of food, and then if we get time again we'll revise this living organisms. Alright, so that's all about today's class, children. Thank you and Jai Hind.